In this week's episode of Zankyou no Terror, Shibazaki has to deal with another one of Sphinx's confusing riddles, and 12 is getting dangerously close to Lisa. This was an amazing episode of the series, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do any justice. It was a very slow, methodical, and atmospheric episode, but I think my favorite thing about it was the animation and the artwork. In fact, my favorite scene this week was at the very end of the episode when Lisa is confronted by 12 again, and after a little bit of a small confrontation, she decides to run away and is ganged up on by some cops. When suddenly 12 comes out of nowhere on his motorcycle and comes out like frickin' Kaneda and saves her. They then go through this like little ride through Tokyo, and everything here is amazing. The animation, the artwork, the lighting, the music. It is one of the most atmospheric scenes of the entire series thus far. And nothing's even happening! They're just riding around through the city, and she's asking a really awkward question like, are you guys planning on destroying the world? 12 doesn't answer, she just laughs. Everybody in this series is crazy, but the main story this week is that Sphinx is getting ready to perform another terrorist attack, except this time, they're letting the police have a chance to stop it. And they have another riddle, which involves Oedipus Rex and all this other crazy stuff. And what I think is kind of funny is that Shibazaki's friend, the big chubby guy, he seems like he's actually going to be really helpful in sort of figuring out what these riddles are. He always seems to be like the guy who gives him the last clue at the last second. And throughout this entire episode, there's a lot of hints, like you can see that the police force has been doing a lot of investigation. They've been trying to figure out where they've been buying all of their clothes from, and they seem like they've got everything locked down and they're really close to finding them. And at the very end of the episode, when Shibazaki finally figures out the clue and the answer to this riddle, he enters it in his computer, he gets it right. But the police force was cheating, and this is something that Sphinx did not want them to do. And when they actually figure out where this bomb is, it actually ends up leaking and releasing all of the investigative information about them to the public, which in a way completely screws over the entire police force investigation process. And there's a lot of things in the episode where you can see these guys have just been watching videotapes for hours on end just to try and find any small clue they can, and all of their work is useless now. And you can tell that that really messed them up at the end of the episode. And the episode also ended weird with 12 and Lisa arriving at 9's place. And 9 is not happy at all. He does not want Lisa involved. And then she just sort of suddenly passes out, fade to black, end of the episode. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Zankyou no Terror? Another really good episode. It's one of those episodes I'm going to have to watch again because it was just a very slow-paced one. There was a lot of heavy dialogue. And when they start to get into like the whole Japanese mythology thing about blowing up shrines and all that stuff, that definitely does go over my head a little bit because I watch a lot of anime, but I'm like no expert on Japanese culture. I'm not the freaking professor on this stuff. I don't do a lot of research on it. I just like badass cartoons. What I will say is the art direction, like I said, really sold this week's episode. And it wasn't just in that one scene at the beginning. Everything in this entire episode looked really, really good. And I already said it before, but I think Shibazaki and his friend are a great combination. In my last review of the series, someone made a comment that they're actually very similar to Shikamaru and Choji. And you're absolutely right. That's exactly the type of characters they are. And it allows you to sort of understand them a little bit better if you put it that way. But otherwise, there's still just a lot of questions and a lot of mystery from the series. Like, what's the deal with 9 and 12? They still haven't gotten into their backstory yet. They didn't even have, like, a weird flashback or anything this week. In fact, 9 and 12 are barely focused on at all when compared to the other characters like the police force and Shibazaki. And in a way, less is more. Because every single time 9 and 12 are on scene, you're in the zone, you're paying attention, and you want to know what's up with them. So, in a way, that is good storytelling. Otherwise, this was a good episode. It was a little slow-paced for my taste, but it was still really good, and it had a lot of great standout scenes. So I'm going to drop an 8 out of 10 on this one. Make sure and watch this one. It'll make you think, and you'll be able to appreciate some really great animation. Thank you guys for watching my review today. Before you leave, make sure and hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. And make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Zankyou no Terror. What do you hope to see from the rest of this incredible anime series? Remember guys, you can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and you can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for those in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.